Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the score was 123-111, and Lakers got the victory in Minnesota at the Target Center against the Timberwolves, and we are thrilled, absolutely thrilled about how that game planned out. Wasn't a whole not to like, to be honest with you. Everything seemed to kind of fall into the place that we would need it to. Uh, I gotta just give credit, first of all, to Darvin Ham for not giving me rotation problems or anything that I would otherwise have a whole lot to complain about. Nothing at all, really. I saw a couple size mismatches, but I don't think they were Darvin's fault. I think they ultimately came down to us not having a center, and I think our team handled it very well. So for him not being a problem, that was the first thing I wanted to say. This was the best coach game Darvin Ham has had for me. I don't know who else feels what, but this was the best one because I simply did not see anything I didn't like from him. You know, when he called Malik Beasley's number for the 10 minutes he gave him, Malik hit 3 threes, and he set him down when he needed to, and that's exactly how you need to use Malik Beasley. I think the odd man out tonight was Troy Brown, and Troy Brown's play has dictated that you can afford to move him further down the depth chart. He hasn't played consistent at all season long, so I'm not too upset at him being the odd man out. Of course, I'm never too happy to not see Christie and Lonnie play, but I kind of just work that into what it is that you have to accept rather than to look for that as a means of continuing to pile on whether or not Darvin Ham did a good job. I just have to kind of set that aside as something I don't agree with and then look at everything else. And everything else looked pretty good, man, as far as he was concerned. Anthony Davis was good, man, really good. The second half, he let the Timberwolves have it. They had some issues with their guy, Rudy Gobert, who had a knee thing. He ended up being okay in the end, but during the process of different injuries that just kept piling up to both AD and Rudy Gobert, somehow we were able to have good play out there from both teams, more or less, because Rudy Gobert went down with his knee. Anthony Davis rolled an ankle or stepped on Wenyen Gabriel's foot or something and ended up looking like he was going to be down, but got up and played well. And it's funny because we were down by 10 when he got hurt, but while he was hurt, I think we strung together like 2 buckets before we even got a chance to call a timeout. It was like the play had broken up because he was hurt, and somehow Minnesota was like giving up the ball while he was hurt or something. They turned the ball over while he was down hurt. It was just strange occurrence, and I don't remember quite how it went, but we ended up cutting the lead from 10 to 6 while Anthony Davis was hurt. Very strange type of sequence. So yeah, 38 points. I think it was 16 rebounds, 2 blocks, a steal. He was just phenomenal all night long. If I'm not mistaken, it was like, I don't remember, the shooting might have been like 16 to 28 or something. I don't remember. Forgive me, I've lost my memory in regards to his stats, but he was really on point tonight, especially in that fourth quarter. He just dominated. Offensive rebound, dunks, stuff like that. Hitting mid-range jumpers, taking advantage of guys in the fourth quarter, really shooting over people, taking it to Karl Towns when Rudy came out of the game. He was just really aggressive, man, about as aggressive as you ever want to see Anthony Davis. So this is what we needed in the biggest game thus far, in a game where we were going against a real big centers, and we were concerned about the rebounding. We beat them on the boards, and it had everything to do with Anthony Davis crashing it so hard. So I thought MVP Davis showed up tonight. He was the best player on the floor by far, and it was why we were able to ultimately get out of here, even though we were down by as much as 10 at the half. I never felt like we were out of the game. I thought the score was never really dictating what we were actually seeing, and I was happy to see our team kind of reflect that in how they played in the second half. We didn't get too down about anything. We just kept taking it to this team. We understood they were down their big piece from their bench for the very first time, with Naz Reid having been out with the wrist injury, and they hadn't played without him. This is the first time they had to do that. So when they put that bench in that third quarter, we went on like a 25-2 run or something like that. It was really devastating stuff that we were able to line up down there in the fourth and in the third quarter. So we had, I think it was 33 points scored in the third, and 34 points scored in the fourth. I mean, we just really took it to them. And as I asked my team to do, I said we would need 120 points to win this game. They gave me 123. And I honestly think we needed most of those points because, as you can see, they scored more than they normally do. I think they average 112 points a game. I think that's what it is. And I figured they would, they may get more because of the fact that we had the size mismatch and they would probably get easy buckets. So our team did what we need them to do, man. They did exactly what they needed to do. They met the intensity of the night. I think Dennis Schroeder really needs high honors for this game, just how hard he hustled, particularly in the fourth quarter, stealing the ball, just hustling, man. Situation where Anthony Edwards didn't even see him coming. He was hustling from behind and stole the ball from behind him. Just excellent stuff. Diving all over the floor, hitting jumpers. I really think this was a really, really good game from Dennis Schroeder. I think he had like a plus 14, if I'm not mistaken. Very, very, very good stuff. And then also Rui Hachimura was the high man with plus 20. And although he didn't have a big night, because he just was a bench player. I think he had like 6 points, 4 rebounds, a block and a steal or something like that. I don't remember. But what stood out for me was the fact that he gave me everything I wanted to see. Everything that I've been talking about earlier in these last couple of days about how we need to get him thinking weak side defense. He must think shot blocking. He must think that that's the most important thing for him to do. Give me assists and look to help side defend. And that was what I wanted to see from him. He gave me that tonight. It was as if he heard my video and gave me exactly what I was looking for. He got all the stops necessary with the minutes he got. He got stops on Rudy Gobert. I think he got a stop on someone else as well. Got a steal, of course, as we mentioned. And on the other side, hit his shots. So I just thought that he really played well. Got his assist off. Got I think it was a outlet pass to LeBron James. So these little things are things that I'm saying I want from Rui Hachimura, because he has such an important role on this team. He has to play the 4 if we're going to rotate him the way that Darvin does. And the reason why I hate playing him at the 4 is because we can't rely on him for weak side defense. Well, the word can't is no longer in play because he actually showed up and gave me weak side help. I think counted 3 times in one flurry. So that is what I want to see from him from here on out. Looking to weak side help, defend, and obviously get at least 1 or 2 assists a night. If he can do that, he will make it in this league. He will make it on this team. He'll make it in this league because he's always going to be able to score. And a good coach is always going to be able to find him in positions to do what it is that he does, and he's going to be able to attack in this league from the mid-range. So he's always going to be a valuable piece. Plus, he's big, can rebound, and all of that. But if you can count on him to get stops, now you got a player. And see, my confusion about Rui was that I always heard he was not a defender. And then, you put him at the 4, I understand that his defensive stats aren't as good. So it's like, all right, I know that. But then when you look at his on-ball defensive stats, dude is a lockdown. Nobody gets past him when he's facing up him. When he's in front of somebody and they try to score on him, it don't go well for them most of the time. So it's like, all right, I take that metric and I understand that. That means he has defensive understanding and defensive talent. So if we look at some of his defensive stats, it's like, oh, he gets a block here, he gets a steal here. So it's like, all right, so we just got to kind of get him used to doing what it is we need him to do in that position. Get him used to using his length, get him used to thinking shot blocking, get him used to playing basketball for our team just in the way that we need him to. Because we have to remind ourselves that this guy hasn't played a lot of pro basketball, period, since Washington didn't hardly play him his first couple seasons, given the fact that he was hurt. So we can really mold him to be whatever we want him to be. So what I say is, I know you can score. I know you can get boards. What I need you to learn how to do is get assists off and be a better weak side help defender so we can play you at the 4 next to Winyan, next to AD or whoever, and not have any issues. And he gave me all of that tonight, and he was the highest plus minus guy on the team because of it. So all of that stuff, even though it was subtle, it all stood out big time to me because it's exactly what I asked for. So I definitely want to give him his kudos. LeBron James had a very cold night scoring the ball, but ultimately made a good game out of it in the end. I think his stats, I think he walked out with 23 points, something like that. The stats are just, they're gone in my head. I'm sorry, I just don't remember. But I definitely know that he was cold for the most part, picked it up. I don't think he had that many points. 18 maybe? Who knows? It's escaped me, King. I'm sorry, but I do remember your contribution for sure. And I know for a fact he's still working himself back from injury. I think he had 6 assists, so he made his presence known out there. I just thought that his shot selection, the selection wasn't bad. It just wasn't falling. A lot of the shots that he was trying to take, particularly in the first half, they just looked rimming out ugly. He looked a little clunky and stuff like that. Still trying to find his way back into his rhythm. But he drove at the basket a lot. He got some dunks off, which I like to see. Hustling hard. I definitely saw a lot of hustle plays from the King. He was intent, grabbing guys, being even more intent than usual and roping guys in and having them converse with him and having them understand be on the same page tonight. So I thought his leadership was on high display tonight. And I just thought he met the intensity of the night. He understood what this game meant. He understood what it is that his role was, and I think he gave us what we needed. I know he was a little frustrated with his shooting selection. We all were. I mean, it's the way that the shots weren't falling, the fact that they were missing. But at the end of the day, we closed out well. We stayed on the string, and he was a great deal of help to us. We're still trying to figure out how to run the plays that make sense in regards to him and Austin Reeves when they're both down there. Who should be controlling the ball? Him and D'Angelo Russell. Who should be controlling the ball? Everybody's used to getting it, and I think it's a little tough for LeBron James to defer to these guards. But at the end of the day, I like the pace that the young guards give us. So I'd like us to use all three. You know what I mean? I think it helps a lot. Sometimes LeBron James wants to slow the pace down significantly more so than maybe Austin does or maybe D'Angelo does. And you saw that rear its head tonight a little bit. Nothing too serious, but I think it can give a difference of a look within the same rotation if we give different playmakers the ball in certain situations. So that's what we saw a little bit of tonight, and I think we'll find a balance as these guys continue to play with one another. I thought it was an interesting stat how D'Lo and Dennis Schroeder both did not record a rebound tonight. Neither one of our point guards got a single board, and we still managed to win the rebounding total by over 10 boards. So that was interesting. I think 16 turnovers for both teams. You definitely kind of want to cap it off under that. You don't love 16 turnovers. But all in all, I think we did. I guess we could say we did okay in that way. 50% from the field goal, so we definitely appreciate that we shot very well inside the arc. From behind the arc, I think we were okay. We only attempted 22 shots. I don't remember how many we made, but we kept it low. And then, of course, our free throw percentage was high. We attempted like 30 of them and hit like 24 of them. And I still would love our percentage to increase from there as a team. But overall, we did okay. I think Anthony Davis missed 2 free throws tonight. We usually see him miss 3, miss 2. We still don't want him to miss any because that's just how we want to see perfection take place out there. Missed free throws just in general still was not where we wanted it to be. What else, man? What else was there to really say? I think this team really showed me the intensity necessary to win this game. You know, when you go down by 10 points, it's a little frustrating. You're feeling as if, you just can't get over the hump. This team is hitting shots. You got to give Mike Conley his credit. He was shooting the ball all over the place for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And it just became a situation where on a lot of nights you just think that the team's probably going to roll over. I think we went down by as much as, I think it got as high as 11 or 12. But we kept our foot on the gas. We understood what the assignment was, and we kept on churning away no matter what the situation was. Our defense clamped up in the third quarter, and they had to expose a little bit of that bench without Naz Reid. And that's when we took off, man. We just put the clamps on them boys, and it was ugly. Defense to offense every time. And you just love to see it. You know, Vanderbilt needs his credit. I think he had like 2 steals on the night, a bunch of rebounds, some putbacks. This was a good effort night for him. Really love what I saw from Vanderbilt. Austin Reeves, he ended up with a good plus-minus. I think his plus-minus was above 12 or something like that. But the majority of the game, he was teetering on playing bad for his standards. I think what ended up happening is he had a good fourth quarter, and he had hit some shots here and there. But we had a bunch of stuff from Austin Reeves, and you're sitting there saying, that's not like Austin. And I remember I found myself saying that at least 6 or 7 times tonight. Like, that ain't like Austin. He missed a putback layup. Just a couple things. I'm just like, what is that? A turnover here and there. A couple things and missed free throws. I'm just like, this ain't like Austin. It was a lot of stuff like that. But ultimately, he made a good game out of it. Missed some easy chippies. Didn't get any and ones tonight despite getting to the line a lot. I'm just not used to him missing and ones so much. It was just, I don't know. I don't know if it was the building. I don't know what it was. But he just wasn't himself tonight. But still came out of there looking just fine in the stats. So, yeah, man, the plus-minus didn't really tell you what the eye test. It didn't really tell the same story the eye test did. It really didn't. You look at some guys like Anthony Davis, his plus-minus like maybe +3 or something. He was a star of the show. So, there's a lot of stuff there. You're just like, okay, well, we'll take it. It was a lot of that. Kyle Anderson needs to be given credit. I think he only missed like 2 shots. Had like 6 assists, a couple steals, a couple blocks. That dude was all over the place. Definitely killed it. And even his plus-minus was kind of in the negative side after all that production. A little strange. Like I said, Conley was shooting the ball like crazy. Anthony Edwards was a little off tonight. I think that really catered to us having a good night because he wasn't himself. I think he's a little under the weather. Kind of strung together a couple shots, but he was inefficient, and it was exactly what we needed. I thought Rudy Gobert played a really good game. Of course, we said he went down with that knee in the fourth, but came back just fine. But in the first half, he was really putting up points and stuff, doing a spin move and stuff like that, all kinds of stuff that you don't expect from Rudy Gobert. Some shot put type of hook shot. I was like, where did this package come from? When did he start developing this type of game? I don't know, but Rudy Gobert's game looked pretty good tonight, and I was very pleased that ultimately we were able to overcome him with such stellar play by Anthony Davis. Karl Towns, as much as we like Karl Towns, we never accuse him of being a fantastic defender. He's not. And I think Anthony Davis strung together maybe 3 or 4 buckets on him in a row in the fourth quarter. They just cannot sustain without Rudy Gobert and Naz Reid. They just can't. And I got a feeling the Timberwolves are heading in the wrong direction because that bench is not very good right now. Taurean Prince was like 2 for 10. He had a horrible night. Exactly what we needed. He hadn't had a bad night since his last home game against the Hawks, I believe it was. He was killing it on the road. Well, he's back home now. I'm glad we benefited from him not playing his best. What else, man? Who else was down there doing things? Jalen McDaniels, got to give him credits. He was a problem all night on both sides of the floor. Just about everything you could think of, he was giving us trouble. And I'm glad that we were able to win the game despite it. This was just a game that you really appreciated, man. For all the things that we always complain about in regards to rotations and stuff like that, we just love the fact that Malik Beasley was able to see some shots fall tonight. That's what it really came down to. Because he hit shots, it made everything else stabilize. His minutes didn't hurt at all. He came in and ran the score up. And when we set him down, we brought him units that worked. We had brought him off the bench, so we had a nice little situation where we didn't have to worry about some of the defensive issues in the start of the game. Although we did start a little slow and let them get out to a quick start, which is why they had the lead in the first place. But all in all, I thought that Malik Beasley came in and actually stabilized things after we got out to that slow start. So you got to give Malik his credit, even though he had them 10 minutes. Them 3 threes really, really opened up the game for our team entirely and gave us a nice boost there. Wenyen Gabriel, I don't remember what he did, but it seems like his minutes has been cut a little bit. But I know he was down there some, maybe not as much as I'd like to see. But all in all, I thought he played some good minutes when he was down there. Not that I remember. I ain't gonna lie. I don't remember how much he was playing down there, but we know he suited up. We know he suited up, and we know our coach called his number, and we love seeing him down there. The only thing I really remember from Wenyen is Anthony stepping on his foot. So I want Wenyen to continue to play well with his minutes and make more of an impact. If I don't remember what you did, that means you didn't make enough impact. So come out here in the next game against the Rockets and give me something to remember, man. So that's what I got to say, man. All in all, this was a fantastic game from the Lakers. We must win, and we did win. It was one of those games where you throw your phone if we lost. It was one of those games where you cuss people out if the rotations weren't right. This is the game you call Anthony Davis out and you say you want to trade him if he don't show up. This is the game that you say LeBron James can't get it done. He's old and washed if we don't win this game. It's the game you say Austin Reeves is overrated. He ain't never going to win no games. This is all of those things that you say if you lose this game. All of those are the things that you say if the Lakers lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves today, but we didn't. We did not. We took this game seriously. We stepped in here with our size disadvantage, and we continued to do what we needed to do to make up for it. Anthony Davis crashed the glass enough for the team, and everybody else contributed quite a bit to make that happen. Dennis Schroeder's effort was insane. You just love Vanderbilt's effort. As I said, Rui with the plus 20. Austin ultimately making it a good game and helping by getting to the line and just continuing to churn away. LeBron James continuing to score the ball even though he was having an inefficient night. He continued to churn away. He didn't let it mess with his confidence. I just like the effort and the intensity and the urgency is the word I'm looking for. I felt the urgency was there. I saw the urgency in LeBron James's eyes before the game. I saw the urgency in Anthony Davis's body language as he was trying to fight back from that ankle roll. He was serious to getting back out there and rolling, tying up his shoe and getting back out there. Even on the other side with the other team, Rudy Gobert fighting back and trying to get back on the floor from his injury. You could see teams, they cared, man. They cared. And so I think both teams should walk away from this feeling like they gave it a good effort, and I'm glad we were the ones with the victory. D'Angelo Russell, I thought he stabilized things really well, made plays for Anthony Davis, hit some shots, hit some free throws. Played balanced, played well. I really like what I saw from D'Lo as well. Definitely a luxury having him in that starting lineup next to LeBron James, and providing such a lethal 3-point shooting attack. We got out to such a slow start. His 3-point shot ultimately gave us a little bit of a cushion to that slow start, and so I didn't forget that from the jump. He came out firing. So this is the type of stuff that you just love to see, man. With him making plays for Malik Beasley, getting his confidence up, his teammates' confidence up, I think that'll go a long way in making Malik feel a lot better about himself going forward. And I think we can learn from this. It don't take a whole lot for Malik Beasley to get the production that we get from him on a nightly basis. You play him 35 minutes, he's going to give you probably the same amount of numbers he gave you tonight, only much more shooting. So it's like we need to understand that that's a weapon, man. That's a weapon, and this is exactly how you use him. It ain't about how many minutes you give him. It's about making sure that he's shooting when he's on the floor, and make sure you need shooting when he's on the floor. That's all. That's literally it. So I think D'Lo knew the assignment. When that boy's on the floor, you make sure he's the one getting the ball, because otherwise he don't have no purpose on the floor. It's literally that simple. So I just think we used him correctly tonight, and hopefully that can be a recipe for how we use him. He's a weapon. He's not the tank. He's not the engine. He's not the cannon. He's one of them weapons on the side of the tank. That's all. And you use him accordingly. And he's expensive because he's a heck of a devastating weapon. But that don't mean you have to lean on him like he's the engine or something. So I think we kind of used him in the way that I always envisioned him being used in this league. And I think we were great because of it. I think we scored 123 points, and that was part of it. So yeah, man, Anthony Davis gets the game ball. Of course, it ain't no conversation about who gets this game ball tonight. Once again, for the second game in a row, Anthony Davis came through in the area of the Midwest and made sure that he came through repping the Lakers. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. He went home to Chicago, went for 38, came here to Minnesota down the street, went for 38. This is what we need from him when it's time to go back to those areas of the country where he's from. We need him to show up and show out. You know what I'm saying? We need him to show up and remind everybody what time it is. And so that's what I was hoping to see, and that's exactly what we seen. And I don't remember who it was today, but they said, I think it was Nick Wright. Nick Wright was the one who said that Anthony Davis is well on his way to a Player of the Month award for this month. After tonight's game, I'm pretty certain he sealed that up. Western Conference Player of the Month. He should have sealed that up. So I just want to put that out there. This is that type of game, man. You got to give kudos to the entire team. Nobody deserves to be given any heck tonight. Not at all. This is a night for celebration, appreciation, and we will sit on this win as a means of considering it. One of the most important, if not the most important win of the season. Now, I do have to amend what I said by saying that we still do not win the tiebreaker. Unfortunately, we only played this thing 3 times, and this was the first win. So I did not know that. I thought we had played them 3 times already, and I thought we had gotten one. So I was completely wrong about that. We are still not in a tiebreaker situation with this team. But as of right now, we are tied for 7th place with, I want to say it's the New Orleans Pelicans. I don't know if that's actually that team or not. But we're tied with somebody for 7th place, so we're happy to be there. And I believe it is the Pelicans who will be playing somebody tomorrow. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they played last night. They did with the win with B.I. getting his second triple-double of his career in a matter of 3 weeks, which is starting to become a thing. Making this team a lot better. So, yeah, I think that's how that goes. Minnesota now falls below us, of course. I think they're in 9th place. No, they're in 8th place. I don't know. It's confusing. It's very confusing. Of course, these teams are all bunched together, separated by like 2 games. So it is what it is. We still got to keep winning. But this was definitely an important win, to say the least. It didn't have the tiebreaker, on the line like I thought, which takes away from it in a way, as it pertains to how serious it was to me. But nevertheless, you had to win this game either way, just for what it is we're trying to accomplish. So, yeah, man. Feels good to get a win in Minnesota. Feels good to get a win against this team, since they did get the first 2 meetings against us. And, I want to salute the Kobe minute, obviously. This is the 24th minute, so we want to make sure we give Kobe his credit every single time we talk about the Lakers on this channel, if possible. And I think this would be a game he would be proud of, man. I think this would be a game where he would look at the stars and say, y'all did what y'all supposed to do. Anthony Davis led the team, straight up. Bron didn't really have it going like that. Bron's scoring wasn't there. The shooting was kind of funny, to be honest with you. But Anthony Davis did what he needed to do to make up for that. Being highly efficient, highly defensive, and just a gobbler of boards, man. An absolute monster on the boards in a time when we needed him more than anything in the world with those two twin towers down there. So Anthony Davis made sure that we understand just how much confidence we should have in his team when he plays like this. Even if they got 2 7-footers at our Hall of Fame level, they ain't stopping this dude. And that's what we learned tonight. This is exactly what we learned tonight. So the confidence is high. And I just want to give credit, man. I really want to give credit to the whole team. Shout out to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, what we got to do next is get right back on board with continuing to get our lick back. All these teams that didn't beat us already, we got to keep on getting these victories from them. Next up, I believe it's the Houston Rockets. I'm pretty certain it's Houston and Utah, not the other way around. Pretty certain that's how that goes. So if that is the case, Alper and Sengun made a fool out of us last time. We didn't have Anthony Davis because it was a back-to-back. It was a game he was healthy enough to play, and we had a lot of discrepancy about whether or not whose decision it was for him not to play, and etc. I need us to come into this game and get our lick back. They made a fool out of us in the last game. They did whatever they wanted to do, and we thought they were tanking, and it didn't happen like that. I think they beat us by double digits, and it wasn't hard at all. We are not going to be caught off guard by this team. Braun is on the floor for this game. AD is on the floor for this game. D'Lo is on the floor for this game. The Houston Rockets are not running into the same team. They're not running into the same team. We are going to be ready for them. We must win, and that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. We're trying to get to the 6th seed. As far as I can tell, that is definitely much more obtainable now that we've won this Minnesota Timberwolves game. That is much more obtainable that we miss the play-in tournament if we continue to win basketball games. So that's what's ahead of us. We got to beat the Rockets. We got to beat the Jazz. We got to beat the Clippers. We got to beat the Suns. We got to beat the Jazz again. And I think we're out of here after that. I think that's how that goes. I don't think we see anybody else. I don't believe we do. So those are the games that are in front of us, ladies and gentlemen. That is what it is. The Los Angeles Lakers, in my opinion, should be looking to win all of those games with absolute confidence. I don't think any of those games we should be looking at as if we can't win. None of them. Did I mention Phoenix? Did I mention Phoenix? Because they're definitely in there somewhere. I'm pretty sure I did not mention them. But we got to win all these games, man. That's all there is to it. We got to win all these games. 2 more Utahs. That's the team that we're going to be seeing twice ahead. Everybody else we only see once. But that's what it is, man. The Houston Rockets are not to be poo-pooed. We know that. We know what they just did to us. We know what they've been doing to other teams, too. We know all they got. But at the end of the day, we don't care who they got. We're not going to over-respect anybody. No young teams, no old teams, none of that. We have to come in with what we got and continue to push forward to get in this playoffs. So that's what we're going to do, man. Ain't no way around it. This team is somebody nobody wants to see. The way that Anthony Davis played right now, there should be a lot of teams in the Western Conference should be very concerned. They should be very concerned. You look at the numbers he put up, and you look at that Anthony Davis character. I mean, Austin Reeves. You look at LeBron James. You look at D'Angelo Russell. You look at how these Lakers are coming together right now as they continue to get healthy. And you just feel like there's probably a couple teams at the top that are really trying to vie to get out of that position. Whether it be Sacramento or Memphis or Denver, they don't want to play the Lakers in the first round. They want each other to play the Lakers in the first round. Let me tell you right now. So that's what that is, man. That's not a real first round matchup. I'm going to tell you, whoever gets the unfortunate fate of running into us, you ain't in the first round. That's like a bonus round. It's like the 3rd round or something. So, yeah, that's what it is, man. I feel confident. I feel like the upset is very possible if we can climb ourselves into this playoffs. And if we can miss the play-in tournament, maybe we get a chance to see a team that, you know what I mean, might not be one of those top 2 teams. Maybe we mess around, see, Sacramento. Maybe we mess around and get a chance to see the Clippers ourselves. Who knows if the Clippers can play their way that high? I don't know. But I just feel like at the end of the day, it's probably going to be Memphis. It's probably going to be Memphis or Sacramento in that 3rd spot, for now that I'm thinking about it. But I would much rather just miss the play-in tournament entirely and take my chances with one of those teams, even though I like us against Denver more so than those 2 matchups. So we'll see, LA. We will see, LA, but we are definitely out of the 8th spot as of right now. tied for the 7th spot, which is very, very good. And we got a chance to climb. We got a chance to climb by beating a Houston Rockets team that just beat our behind. So we need to do that. We need to make them pay for that, get our lick back, and continue trucking along on this road trip that we're 2-0 on so far. 2-0 on the road trip, man. Got to feel good about that. Hopefully our team can get out of Minnesota before this blizzard comes. From what I understand, it's on their way. And we'll get down to Texas and see what happens. We'll see what happens. So that's pretty much what I got. This ain't going to be a very long video. I usually have a lot more to say when there's something to complain about. When the team takes care of business and everybody gives me what I asked for, and the only thing really that wasn't that great was LeBron James shooting, I'd say this is not a whole lot to talk about, man. We did great. We did great. We won, and we happy. So I want the team to feel loose tonight. I want them to celebrate a little bit more than we normally would, because this is the type of game where we would have kicked their butt a little more than they normally would for losing. So this is the type of game you definitely pat yourself on the back and feel good about. Now, the next thing I think I want to see our team do is put in some hours at the free throw line, man. I don't want us to lose an important playoff game or play-in tournament game because we couldn't shoot above 75% from the line. It's getting out of hand. Everybody's missing free throws, yo. Dennis Schroeder missing free throws. Austin Reeves missing free throws. Anthony Davis missing free throws. Everybody's missing free throws. So at this point, the only thing that came to mind when I was watching these guys clink those is that there's more work that needs to be put in at that. Guys just got to put in the work, man. Guys cannot be satisfied. So that's what I got to say about all our weaknesses, not just the line, but anything that we're not that great at. Guys cannot be satisfied, man. Can't cut corners on the practice. It will translate to you not being prepared on the floor, no matter how much effort and intensity or focus you think you are. You're going to need those reps, fella. You're going to need them. It's the only way you got to this level in the first place. So why would you abandon the work? So that's what I want to say to our team, man. Schedule those practices and fall in love with those practices again. Even for the highest level players like Bron and AD, we need the reps together, fellas. That's the way them pick and rolls are going to look better than they did in that first half. So that's what I want to see. I think we made some fantastic passes tonight. Shout out to everybody. Some of the best bounce passes I've seen our team make. D'Angelo Russell had a fantastic bounce pass. I think it was Dennis Schroeder that made one as well earlier in the game. Just really, really nice passes made all over the floor tonight for one another. And that's the beauty of having good playmaking on your team. So I appreciate it, man. What can I say? I think it was like 7 assists from D'Angelo Russell, maybe 6 assists from Austin Reeves. 6 from Austin Reeves, several from Dennis Schroeder as well. That type of playmaking. LeBron James with 6 assists. I like the playmaking for everyone on the team. We were looking for one another tonight. We were playing loose. We were playing together defense, team rebounding, team everything, team hustling. Guys are picking each other off the floor. Good chemistry night for the LA Lakers. So that's what I got to say, man. Not only was this the biggest win of the season, this might be the best win of the season. Just because of everything I already said. We didn't play our best game. We didn't play our best game. But we definitely showed up for the intensity and the urgency of the night. We did not let ourselves get down in regards to no score or missed shots or injury possibilities. We just kept trucking along and allowed our play to handle business. And we scored with an intensity as this time was expiring. We were still looking to attack with 2 minutes to go. That's another thing I want to give Anthony Davis credit for. Because some of the things we've talked about in the past is not willing to play through the whistle. That's not what I'm trying to say. When the game starts to get to a point where you think you've won and the time is starting to run out, we tend to slow down the ball, not attack as much, kind of pulling back. We didn't do that tonight. Anthony Davis was taking it to that team with 2 minutes to go when we was up by like 9 and 10 points. He was still trying to hit shots, scoring on Rudy repeatedly, scoring on Carl repeatedly. I just love the killer instinct that Anthony Davis led with tonight in that fourth quarter. The best way I know how to describe it is he showed me some killer instinct. And he was intent on taking his team out, regardless of what they were talking about, regardless of what whatever. He didn't care. He was going to take it to them and respond to what it is that we needed. And so, man, I'm happy. Down to the score, I'm happy. I said we needed 120. They gave me 123. I'm happy. That's pretty much it, man. I ain't got much else to say. I want to give just all the credit to Darvin Ham once again and Anthony Davis, Dennis Schroeder, all those guys, man. I just love what I saw from my team. And that's where I'm going to leave it, man. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.